King UK tweet. That is one of the things we talked about. We got into a huge discussion and fight about that and all sorts of things about it. We talk about a lot of things on that podcast. It gets a little ridiculous. You'll just have to see it for yourself, because I'm literally trying to think about just one topic that we talked about. But hey, only topic that's on my mind right now is this grand final set. Rivers making his way through the Robert the Robot gauntlet stew to have a chance against Inu, who only needs 3 games from the winner's side to take out Rivers. Welcome to
Grand Finals here at DNA.EXE. Say what you want about that Burger King tweet. This Zelda has been cooking the entire night. Undefeated throughout the entire bracket, beating the baby in winners finals. I'm not really sure if they've faced off against tough cookie quite like Rivers.
I don't think they have. This is going to be interesting. You know, we saw Inu go up against a couple of Robs in this bracket. A character that I feel personally has all the tools to defeat a character like Zelda, if and they know what they're doing. Diddy is very similar to Rob in the fact that he can spawn a banana, but rather than send his opponent in a direction with the banana, as you can see right there, it trips you instead and allows you or your opponent, and if they are able to steal your banana, to set up for some crazy grab combos and punishes. If Rivers, as that up smash does not take the stock, actually, wow, good DI by Inu. If Rivers is able to close the gap, which, if he has a banana in hand, should be easier than a lot of other characters in this game against a character like Zelda, he might be able to get some pretty meaty punishes.
And now, as Rivers has a decisive advantage, though it's becoming a little less decisive by the second, I guess you could say. Inu's going to have to make their way back to the stage, and does so at the behest of the banana, or really with the aid of the banana, I guess I should say. We'll work on that. Either way, it's been a pretty impressive effort thus far from both players, but Rivers thus far has just been, well, I mean, you put the pressure on Zelda, it can be hard for the princess to deal with it, and we're seeing just how much of a challenge it is right now as Rivers has accumulated a 2-stock lead, 3-1 right now in favor of the former PGR man.
Yeah, we even have a couple of Zeldas in the chat right now, a couple of very talented ones, and Air Swimmer and Sweet Lou talking about, you know, this matchup not being an easy one for Zelda. And I can certainly imagine Diddy being able to close the gap with that banana relatively easily, because once he's in, he's going to get these meaty punishes as well. No infinites as well, going for the stringier stuff as well, considering that they actually, in the only recent patch, the only change that they made to Diddy Kong was making it pretty much increasing the amount of time, or increasing the start lag, if you not the start lag, the startup, if you would, of the down throw banana toss after he uses it and actually hits an opponent with the banana off of the down B itself, rather than actually picking up the banana and throwing it. They specifically did that to try to sort of gut the Diddy Kong Infinite even more than they already did, as pretty much shown to you by Rivers on the platform right there. A couple of patches ago, Stu, that would have been a dead Zelda. Not this time around.
Yeah, no, the pyramid scheme, not a thing. I made a concentrated effort to get that thing renamed to the River Dam, but it was I really tried. I promise I did.
But I believe you. You don't got to tell me twice. I know you, man. I know you're out here fighting the good fight.
I look out for my people. That's just what I do. It's oh my gosh, yeah, actually catching them with the neighbor's love. That thing comes out pretty quick. I don't know if we've heard about that, but yeah, it's not terrible.
Frame 5, if I'm not mistaken.
But yeah, that punch straight to the unmentionables. That's going to be the what sets apart Rivers from Inu in this game number 1. And if this reset's going to happen in Tunis, I gotta say, Rivers is making a case for it right now.
Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm not very good at, math, but I can count to 3. And that's how many stocks that Rivers had at the end of that game. That was a 3 stock on the part of him right there, over and over again. The oppression session. The Zelda away from me, man. It's like Diddy doesn't even have to play any semblance of that long game at all, or even start to respect Zelda. Once Diddy's in, that punish is immaculate. Especially Rivers, who arguably has the best punish game out of any Diddy. I think one of the only ones that really contest would be, Tweak and Aaron, the likes of the other top ones to come even close to that front. Rivers has been playing this character for a very long time, though, man. So those punishes, when he actually gets in on Inu are going to be immaculate, to say the least. And it's already so hard for Zelda to deal with Diddy up close when that banana comes out. There's a certain distance where her only choice, if she's not able to whip the knight out in time, is to try and just time a Naryu's love properly. And all Rivers has to do to really counterplay that is to just wait an extra second for the Naryu's love to go away, and then he gets another free punish.
Yeah, so that reflector is in fact frame 11, so it's not quite as good as we were making it out to be, but it does kind of feel like it comes out a little bit quicker.
Oh, no. The intangibility, not the reflector. That's my bad. I wasn't talking about the reflector.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, no, not the reflector. Not that broken. We are but humble commentators.
Yeah. I mean, it does wind up being a reflector, I think around frame 5 in Melee, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about the exact number, but it's somewhere in that area. So, you know, we were talking about it. Either way, it's Rivers coming out with the guns blazing, but yeah, they might be backfiring just a little bit. This is Inu feeling a little bit more comfortable in this game number 2. Final Destination might have been just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely getting a doctor's note to stay home from school on this day, my friend. You know, even though it's at-home learning, doesn't really make any sense. Either way, I'm very surprised. Yes?
Not everywhere.
Not everywhere. Yeah, well, oh, yeah, no, you don't have to tell me anything. He knew. Yeah, no, I gotta be honest. Don't get me wrong. Diddy is very good on this stage as well. This is arguably Zelda's best stage, especially depending on the matchup. You know, some characters, I'm gonna be real, they literally rely on platforms to get away from the Phantom Knight because they just don't. They either don't have the jump height or the air speed or whatever to essentially get around that move. So they, in a sense, just have to really get on those platforms whenever Zelda whips them out. Obviously, FD, no platforms. Now the Phantom Knight. Kind of just have to respect that move if you don't have an option quick enough to hit Zelda when she whips it out. I don't think Rivers banned this stage, though, because I think he realizes that as long as he has a banana in hand, it's not going to matter as much if he's up closer, even at a decent mid-range against Zelda, because as long as he's got that banana, he throws it. Like, right there, you see? He didn't have the banana, so he had no choice but to just jump up in the air and get away from the Phantom Knight, and in a sense, just give Inu stage control again. Had he was actually been able to pick up the banana that was so close behind him, just throw it in her face, and then the Knight goes away, and you get a punish. Really gonna all be dependent on if he has that banana in hand, folks, as we're down to the last stock of game number 2.
Sure seems like it, but we're going to see this is a last stock situation, and Rivers, well, they don't really have the luxury of toying around with anything at ledge, least of all the Princess of Hyrule herself, gonna read that roll up. But then again, I feel like that Phantom Sentry kind of convinces you to make your choice pretty fast.
For sure, my friend, for sure, especially on a stage with no platforms to even retreat it to. Let's take a look at this first play again as we start these replays. Beautiful raw lightning kick as Zelda players are one to do. And then the retaliation from Rivers on the way back as well. Banana toss, forward smash, the classic. Just hitting it with the bread and butters at first before getting to some of the more meaty stuff right here. My God, what a grab. Pivot grabbing the dash attack for Diddy right there. That's actually huge when it comes to counterplay against Diddy, because dash attack is how Diddy gets a lot of his bread and butter started. That's one of the many things that they did to sort of compensate for Diddy's nerfs from Smash 4 over to this game, is that he's got some pretty insane combo starters that are, in fact, burst options as well. And FD is the stage once again, Stu. Looking like Rivers knew he could have brought that back this time around and just going to elect to try this once again, which is very confident of him considering that he's the one in the loser side of this grand finals.
Yeah, and it's kind of shocking because if you are bringing that back, I don't think you're bringing that back at the very end. I feel at some point at the end there, the cake was kind of baked, and it was a pretty decisive victory, especially as you were fighting at the ledge, weren't really able to challenge, at that point. But you know what? You got a little bit of ledge play yourself, and at the accursed percent, that's where Rivers is always going to shine, being the meme lord that they are. They're going to take the first stock off of Inu.
Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Getting the command grab off the monkey flip. That time not again, though. Going for the kick that time around. That was actually kind of scary. I won't lie. So he actually found himself off stage for it, getting hit with the Din's fire. Using the kick off stage is very, very dangerous, as you do lose your jump once you use the kick in the air like that. Rivers, of course, knowing that. Little committal on the part of him right there, and he lost the stock for it. But hey, we're still relatively even and kicking. Literally, as that forward air is going to launch Inu off the level.
Yeah, I mean, still hanging on to it, but nevertheless, this Zelda getting knocked around just a little too much. That's not the 69% that we've come to know, but I don't think we're going to hear too many complaints from the camp of Rivers. What an edge guard. That was absolutely nasty. The Din's fire placement from Inu.
Same spot. The exact same spot. Once again, got just shot in the foot once again. Beautiful stuff on the part of Inu with that edge guard. Yeah. So what? Twice in a row, my friend. Kill so nice. Got to do it twice. You already know. I made that joke once before. But now the oppression session is back in force and back in session again, man. Ugh.
You're welcome.
By the ledge. Gonna do it right there. Beautiful stuff on the part of Rivers, my friend. I gotta say, that one kill, the first kill that he got with the forward smash earlier on, is the one that really impressed me, because he definitely snuck the very last edge hitbox of that forward smash against Inu right there, catching the DI very immaculately. It just killed him at such an early percent. This time around, though, putting the banana right by the ledge, the Diddy classic ledge trap. Slipping and tripping all in the wrong spots in classic cartoon character fashion. Forward smash going to do it right there, and that's Rivers going up 2-1 for the time being. Still needs one more to reset this bracket, though, unless Inu's got something to say about it.
Yeah, I don't know about it. I don't think we're going to be seeing too much in terms of change of character from Inu. I don't know if this is a super. Yeah, again, you don't panic. This is probably your best situation. Even the music counterplay, you gotta love that. The 6WX strats are going to live on for as long as this game does.
Nice.
Long live 6, and here we go into game 4.
God, he can do that on, like, even more legal stages now. I never thought about that. That's horrifying. Man, 6. God bless. Anyway, Rivers up 2-1 right here. One more to reset this bracket, as you know. Let's just see what they're gonna do here, man. It's actually interesting to see Final Destination sort of become like that, sort of become like the end of the counterpick war in this set, because both these characters do very, very well on this stage. Zelda, for the reasons I mentioned before, as the lightning kick takes the stock, you know, lack of platforms to run away from the Phantom Knight in, control space a lot better. Diddy, of course, likes to be able to just, like, rush you down with that banana from close range as well. No platforms to run away from that as well. He doesn't need platforms for his punish game as well, as another thing, and just sort of creates a whole different environment to deal with Diddy Kong when you have, like, no real Y-axis to get away from him and have to deal with a Diddy Kong with banana in neutral, which, as we all know, is very terrifying. So, with all that being said, I'm not at all surprised to see these two counterpick to the stage again, regardless of who keeps winning the last game, Stu.
Yeah, this is it's a weird situation, right? Like, you're seeing the person in winner's bracket, and they're not even like the odds-on favorite to win the tournament just because of who the person they are facing across from is. It's just, it's such a strange phenomenon whenever you get something like that, and we've seen that happen in DNA's past before. Like, people who are on the Wi-Fi warrior rank that wind up in a bad matchup before top 16, and all of a sudden they find themselves making these insane losers runs. This is just what happens at DNA. And now Inu, even though they're putting on a heck of a performance thus far, I mean, right now just getting overwhelmed by the pressure, and Rivers is here about to reset the entire bracket.
Yeah, looking like it right now. With the way he's playing right now, an advantage. God, this punish game is really crazy on the part of him right now. Just resetting with an up smash 2 times in a row and just not giving Inu a single chance to breathe, which is something you definitely want to do against a Zelda. If there's anything you want to do against Zelda, man, you do not want to give this character a chance to set up her bases and her defenses, because, like, a little similar to Pac-Man in this regard, she plays an RTS. Wants to set up her base and defense like a little top-down game, you know, like, oh, League of Legends, you know, swearing at you in the middle of a match, whatever. This is what Zelda likes to do. And Rivers knows that he has the advantage right here. He knows that he's catching Inu in situations where she really doesn't have any other options or is kind of scared. And knows that this is the kind of situation where Diddy can just keep applying that pressure on, instilling the fear of... I want to say the fear of God, but no, this is the fear of evolution right here with the monkeys out here. That's, if I'm being honest, full pun intended. As Inu is looking just closer and closer to losing this set, man. Reading these rolls again and again from the ledge, regardless if he has to wait or if she'll buffer it immediately. That's a reset bracket on the part of Rivers. We're needing 3 more games to take this whole tournament in 3-1 fashion, Stu. Let's take a look at these replays once again. I love this play right here. Just waiting. Putting himself right where he needs to be that quickly for the up smash. I thought that was the first situation, which is why I said waiting. There was one other situation where he was literally just holding shield and had the banana by the ledge, was just waiting for, I think, a solid 3 seconds for Inu to just roll in so he could just up smash out of shield. You gotta love the conditioning on the part of these players right now, man. We hope you're enjoying Smash because we got a whole nother set for you guys before we go.
Yeah, it's been absolutely wild thus far, what we've seen from Inu. I believe, actually, a Japanese Zelda residing in Toronto, Canada, if I'm not mistaken, just from what I can gather at the very least. Regardless of where they come from or where they reside, you gotta say, the language of Smash transcends so many things, and they have been absolutely roasting people throughout this entire bracket, and the results certainly bear the assumption that they are, in fact, quality opposition. But right now, just a little too much to handle from Rivers, just too much of a veteran presence to really deal with all that effectively.
Yeah. Zelda in this matchup, it's so rough for her, man. There's just... the danger zone is just enhanced, Stu. At the mid-range, Zelda with the burst options... if Diddy's out of the range of lightning kick and he's got banana in hand, that's a GG right there. He's going to toss that right in the face of Zelda. What's she going to do? No use love? Diddy, all that he has to do is wait 2 seconds and then throw the banana again. Boom, big punish. That's just a whole nother range in this matchup, Stu, that Zelda is kind of used to playing against a lot more characters. Item characters, though, especially one of the better ones in this game, like Diddy Kong, that is not exactly the case. There's no real exactly elongated game or big... what am I trying to say here? Pretty much that's that. Elongated game where she can just hang back, whip out the knight, and just power through a lot of what Rivers has to do. If Rivers knows how to break through that and just play at that mid-range where he knows that Zelda is not going to have as many good burst options against him, this is really where Zelda starts to struggle.
Yeah, and it's such a tough thing to have to deal with. And this is a Zelda who's picked up wins against some pretty quality competition. People like Atata, people like Ricky, the Luigi that we've seen a few times before, and actually just recently picking up a win over 17, the Zelda, in the Ditto at just a couple of days ago, and just a week or so ago at Ultimate Xanadu Online 395. So this is someone who, again, you have to have a certain understanding of how you play Zelda for sure. But then, when you're going up into Dildo, it's almost like, how does the world view Zelda? How could they potentially get Zelda? What have I absorbed from Zelda? And, what can we apply to assume that, this person is going to do a certain thing? And 17, pretty impressive in of themselves. They have won a few of these tri-state brackets in the past. I believe they are a former Fusion champion. Inu trying to join their Zelda brethren, but the bracket just got reset in Tunis, and the small battlefield game number 1, it's very clear it's a whole new ballgame.
This was game number 1, the stage pick for the first set of Grand Finals that we saw earlier, the stage that we never saw again throughout that set in preference of Final Destination over and over and over again. We'll see if a similar thing happens this time between these two players, just trying to start out here, feel each other out a little bit more. Despite all that work from Diddy Kong, just 2 hits from Zelda is all it took to bring that back to even, Stu, and the down throw to the lightning kick. Perfect percent where Rivers wasn't able to tech on the platform. Ooh, the angel going for the angel drop, too.
Really went for it, and the sentry said no. That is it. You gotta appreciate when your homie helps you out like that. That's just nutty, but again, gotta try to establish Nehru's love, and I do kind of wonder, I know that this is a little redundant for a Zelda, I kind of wonder if they're a little B button reliant more than anything else. Because, yeah, you do have some really good special moves, and if you're a Zelda online, you want to use them to the best of your ability, like that. See, that's where you do it. Where Sentry hits from under the stage, and you're probably laughing like a maniac at the kill that resulted from it. That's nice. But at the end of the day, you have buttons, and you need to use them. We see that flash kick utilized for so many reasons, beyond just the fact that it is, in a vacuum, a decent enough move. It's because you cannot lean on being able to wall out a character like a Diddy Kong or even like a ZSS or something like that. Some character that can just rush you down and make you useless if you don't know how to utilize the A button.
Honest to God, beautifully said, Stu. Over and over. And it's that kind of thing that can really make or break a bad Zelda from a good one, that's for sure. At the very least, one that doesn't know that they have to adapt out of habits like that. But if there's anything I'm seeing from Inu, is that in the few opportunities where they're able to do it, they grab the banana. It's not something that they were doing so much in the last set at all, was ever finding situations where they could take the banana from Diddy rather than just take it in the wrong way. And when they do that, once you take that away from Diddy in that department, that is where Zelda should have a much easier time actually dealing with Diddy. That is when, as that up smash takes the stock, that is when Zelda might actually be able to afford to become a little bit more of a B-button warrior, as you say. Because not only will they have to, because they won't be able to use their normal since they have the banana in hand, but Diddy will have a much harder time getting away from stuff like that, because they'll never be able to beat Zelda to the punch anymore from the mid-range, because they don't have banana anymore.
It really is a matter of how well you can control the flow of the game, is it not? I mean, maybe if you're someone who can, play with power and play with speed, you can throw fastballs down the plate all day, that's fine. It's because you can throw 101 and no one can hit it anyway. If you're not that, you're throwing like standard fastball stuff, you got to mix up the curveball, right? You got to mix up the changeup. You got to work in something else, get a slider going. That's where you get all your special stuff in, right? That's where that's when, maybe when they're not expecting the fast stuff, when they're not expecting the A buttons and standard aerials and neutral interactions, that's where you hit them where it hurts the most. What should be their strength is now their weakness, but it has not happened yet for Inu, and it has translated to a 2-stock victory for this power pitcher. Standing on the mound, good luck hitting what Rivers is throwing at you.
You gotta mix it up every now and again, to say the least. Even a high school team beat the Orioles once.
Did they actually?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
This was like years and years ago, I think.
Yeah, it had to be.
Does it surprise you?
I mean, in a way, in the fact that you knew about it and I didn't, yes. In the fact that it was the Baltimore Orioles, no. So, we're going to go into game number 2. We're just going to let that shade linger for a while. And, it's that could happen in modern times, if we're being completely honest. But
are the Orioles still that bad?
They're not great. So, we're going to see what this Zelda can employ. And it seems like they have a basic idea of what they want to do, but they're not getting the execution that they desire. I do kind of wonder if that's kind of a negative way of thinking about it in Tunis, because I just don't know if what they're doing is conducive to victory and just kind of relying on Rivers making mistakes, which kind of doesn't do.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work against a lot of players. It's not going to work against the best Diddy Kong in the world. That's not the case. You can't just wait for them to mess up. You got to make them mess up. That's what it's all about. I've said this on stream so many times. So many times. It's probably my favorite story that I've ever heard Mango say on his stream. He was telling a story where he was just playing against PPMD, and he was losing pretty bad, playing friendlies against him. And he turns to him and says, Kevin, PPMD, I'm not even like, dude, I'm just playing bad. You're not even playing good or anything. And PPMD pauses the game, turns to him and says, did you ever think that you're playing bad because I'm making you play bad? And he said that was one of the greatest lessons he ever learned in his life regarding the game. So, honestly, yeah, you can't just wait on your opponent to make mistakes. Sometimes you just gotta find a way where you can force them to make mistakes. Force them into bad positions where they have no real choice but to force the bad options. And then there are some characters who are seem to be able to do that in way more situations than others, and that's why we make tier lists. Or to interaction farm, whatever, you know, whatever your choice is.
Give them the rope, they tie the knot. You gotta love it. But that's either way, as dark as that analogy was, it's still kind of the truth, isn't it? Where you're talking about something as volatile as platform brawlers. It takes. You're not just talking about buttons and frame data, though it certainly helps to have something like that on the side, particularly when your Rivers, that Diddy Kong's gonna force the get up, and the F smash is going to finish off the stock. But yeah, that's the thing. Even when your best options are your best options, they're made bad when you're playing a certain way. And Rivers now is not really given Inu much room to work with, but the room that they have gotten, I gotta say, he's been taking advantage.
That was a beautiful up B off the top to take the stock. Most Zeldas like to do that straight up or do it at a shield if you've like been pressing buttons against their shield too much. No, Inu just did that in an angle. That's really risky. And honestly, not easy as well at the same time. But they were able to secure the stock with it. I gotta say, it really takes a true Zelda main, like one with really a ton of discipline, to know when they can't do that. It's so baffling to me to think of me like just, you know me, the masher character that I am. It just baffles me to think that somebody is that patient to know when to do an option like that. Wild stuff.
Well, I mean, this is, you can't imagine that Rivers is going to get caught by the Pharaoh's Wind up B twice in one match, right? Like, you got to figure out a way to do this if you're Inu, and you really have no choice but to kind of start figuring it out. I don't know, let's call it 15 seconds ago.
For sure. The adaptation is doesn't take that long on the part of Rivers. He's definitely seen a thing or two because he knows a thing or two, but he ain't no farmer. He's just a very established Super Smash Brothers player, at the very least. Ooh, actually going for the pivot forward smash right there, turning around right at the end of that right there, canceling it out of the dash, and that one, no canceling needed, no dash canceling needed either. It's just going to run up and do it that time. Rivers with probably one of the most decisive victories we've seen from him throughout these two sets so far. Looking very poised for a potential 3-0 here with the way he's adapting and the way he's playing, Stu. Let's take a look at this replay once again. That time not going to be so well. Oh my God, he knew he had the percent.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I mean, you have to, if you have that opportunity, you got to go for it. I do kind of wonder. I mean, now this is a situation where your back is up against the wall. You are facing elimination, and not just elimination at the hands of one of the better players of this game on the planet. This isn't exactly desirable, and now we're seeing a retreat to the outside of the ring. I kind of wonder if this has necessitated a character. No, Inu is going to ride or die with this Zelda. You gotta admire, again, the tenacity of this Zelda. I just kind of wonder how it's going to work. If it's going to, it'll have to do so in Final Destination.
With no choice left but to reverse 3-0 Rivers if Inu wants any chance at winning this bracket. They're going to run it over to here, a stage that benefits both of these characters very eloquently, as I said in the prior set, for various reasons. Going up against it here in what is potentially the final game of DNA.EXE tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, if Inu's going to get this done, they're going to have to at least play a better game than Skyward Sword. Either way, we're going to see. Because I'm unhireable.
$60 Wii port.
Oh man. Oh jeez. What did I just do to my career? Anyway.
Hey, I bought 3D All Stars, man. So I'm part of the problem.
I mean, you can at least resell that when Nintendo like murders Mario or whatever they're doing on the 31st. Either way.
Yeah, that's just gonna get ugly.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, you think they're gonna?
I don't have a main anymore. Like, he's just gonna be off the character selections. What do I do?
Oh man.
They nerfed Palu.
Am I gonna have to commentate with Nintunish from here on?
Oh God, no.
Oh man.
Hey, dude, Nintunish got nerfed. What's the boy to do?
I mean, it was It was bound to happen one way or another.
But I mean, Palu's still broken, but whatever. All jokes aside.
Yeah, turns out there's a game going on, folks. We
I didn't realize.
No, I mean, this is a regrab situation. And yeah, you better believe Rivers realized that, and they're going to take that for the final stock. You are not safe on the ledge in that situation, Inu.
No. Oh. So close to getting the clip of a lifetime. That would have been the fastest 2 stocks that I personally have casted in quite a while, Stu. But Rivers not able to get the Twitter clip just yet. Inu holding up a little bit, making sure that her head was just above Diddy Kong's fist right there. Ugly stuff going on, but this is still looking poised and done for Rivers with a 3-0 on the part of him in true finals right there. Ladies and gentlemen, your DNA.EXE champion, none other than Rivers, doing it for you all right there. Got to clap it up for the boy. There you go.
Absolutely. I mean, that's just Nevermore Rivers doing what they do best. What else can you say? After getting put down into losers by Lardo, the Piranha Plant. I mean, that's such a weird thing to say, but Lardo is pretty sick. Could not outlast the rest of the bracket, but that is where the veteran presence comes in. We saw at the very end there, and on the edge of the stage, you try to jump, but no, there is danger in them waters, and all throughout Rivers' bracket. Yeah, that was kind of washing everything away in their wake. That's a deserving champion. What else can you say, Nintunis?
Ain't much to say. You know, Rivers, the adaptation was clear. There was two stocks in a row that time around. The oppression session just seemed to never end. And that is when you know that Rivers played enough games against Inu to just create, and was been in enough situations against them to let Inu know, really, that there are just a lot of stuff that just isn't going to fly against him anymore. And as a result, Inu's just playing completely differently, and that differently isn't always better. Sometimes the adaptation isn't always there. And as a result, you saw Rivers with the full download over and over and over again, just running him over twice in a row with the double 2 stocks back to back. That is how you know that the download has essentially been complete. With the when you're doing like confident full charge forward smashes by the ledge this late in the game, man, that's how you know the download is essentially complete. He had a lot of games to do it. It was a true finals reset. So, you know, he played enough games against Inu to really know what they were going to do. And unfortunately, Inu just kept getting run over towards the end of that.
Inu had a great run. Hats off to them. For second place, I do that, but I have the bridge in my headphones there. The baby with the 3rd place, making it all the way to winners final, and did incredibly well for that. Atomic finishing 4th. So a pair of Robs finishing in the show and just off of the podium positions. But yeah, that is of course the Diddy, Nevermore Rivers, making it happen from loser side. Outside of top 16, you can never count them out. Folks, that's going to do it from us here on twitch.tv/MasterhandGaming. We'd like to thank you all once again for joining us. Be sure to join the Collision Smash crew tomorrow night. That is Friday. You better believe it's happening. Galaxy Gambit X Collision. The stream happens on both twitch.tv/thebuzz as well as Collision Smash. You want to register for that? You already know, smash.gg/Galaxy Gambit. That happens every single Friday right here, Tri-State region. Nintunist, go ahead and tell the people what you've got going on.
Well, my main gig nowadays is a little podcast that I personally like to call eloquently the Double D Experience. You can go ahead and check that out. Named after my first name. I'm David. I'm sure a lot of you don't know that. I'm sure a lot of you do. And my buddy Dennis over there at the left. He is a historian with somehow less of a filter than I do. Trust me, I had to censor him literally 2 times on the most recent episode. Not kidding.
Wow.
Not kidding. And he's honestly, he's very funny. He's a great guy as well. But hey, this is my latest venture up into the world of content creation. It is not a Smash podcast, though we do talk about Smash issues a lot. Smash stuff and serious stuff like we talked about, Nairo's situation, as well as just a lot of the various other stuff that the Smash community can go through back then as well. And then we also talk about, ridiculous stuff like AOC torturing me for voice work on her future presidential advertising runs, that kind of stuff. If you're looking for a podcast that has just enough structure to support its lack of structure, look no further than the Double D Experience, my little comedy banter podcast every single Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about all things, whether it's serious things in Smash, all the way up to the Burger King tweet, and then to the space hotel that's supposedly opening up in 2027. Seriously, it's a very dumb thing. We'll talk about, I have a story, what I'm going to tell probably on the next podcast about how Bill Murray called my uncle an asshole. I can't wait to tell that story on the show. It's a pretty funny story, to say that at the least. So hey, if you're looking for the non-esports side in Intunis, as well as just have maybe just a little thing playing in the background for you guys on your car trips or anything else, look no further than your mother's favorite podcast. New episodes every Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Nintunis, and wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever that last one was, I think it was Overcast, whatever, Google Podcasts. You'd be amazed how many podcast listening applications there are. There's a lot. That's what's up with me. Also, shout outs to Rise, my sponsor. I love you. Get 10% off of Rise Cold Brew as well as Rise Oat Milk using the special affiliate link that you can get from my Twitter using discount code NINTUNIST at checkout. As well as just a reduced price in general. They already lowered the price and now you can get 10% off. Plus, Oat Milk Vanilla just released as a new flavor for the coffee as well, if you're looking for that. They've been asking about that for a while, so that one's for you, Trevor. Even though you don't drink coffee. I think you wanted the vanilla oat milk. Whatever, that's me. That's what I do. Chris, thank you so much for having me. I very much appreciate you thinking of me for your work. As always, I'm trying to commentate a lot more. I love commentary. This guy always brings out the best in me, my co-commentator right here. More than really almost pretty much any caster I've ever worked with. Nobody brings out more of the professional in me and the great commentator than this guy, as well as simultaneously the worst. It doesn't really make any. It doesn't make any sense. He somehow finds a way. He finds a way, man. But I'm looking to cast a lot more, so think of me for your events. And if you're not hiring Stu for your events more than anything else, Smash, whether it's the Smash World Tour or anything else, I'm gonna tell you to your face right now, you're stupid. You're just dumb. I'm gonna tell you, if you're not hiring this guy, you're dumb. I want you to sit on that.
That's the enforcer that I needed. You know what? Like, for every Bobby Clark, there needs to be a Dave Schultz. But that is a reference that nobody watching gets. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and on Twitch as well at Stu the Announcer if you are so inclined. And thanks to Mazer for helping this happen. Please follow Chris Elodian on production at Chris Elodian. Super cool dude. And yeah, shout outs to all of you. Hope to see you again. We are getting to the end of the road. We do love these online events, but man, when we are able to see each other again, when we're just able to talk and play friendlies and talk that smack to each other, to be quite honest, and be what makes Tri-State, man, what a great day that's going to be. But we hope that you have a great night and a great day tomorrow. And until we meet again, happy smashing.
Bye, everyone.